Good morning, my name is Chandler and this is Around the House with Chandler. Today we're going to be putting in a cold climate heat pump, which are very popular, especially in the state of Vermont, because the Efficiency Vermont, Green Mountain Power, all these utility companies and energy efficient companies are promoting these by offering rebates to save the homeowner some big dollars. So today we're going to be putting in a cold climate heat pump at this condominium, and we're going to walk you through the steps. So come on in, enjoy the show. Selected this wall to put cold climate heat pump on, and the first thing that we got to be really cognitive of, what's behind the wall. Now we might have electric, which I know we're probably going to have an issue with there, and I know we're going to have some sort of studs, either metal or wood. So what I've done here is I've kind of outlined what my stud finder has found. Now stud finders are very easy to use. You find a hollow spot in the wall and it kind of glows and lets you know, hey, there's something behind there. And it's up to you at this point to figure out what's behind there. We don't want to hit it. In a cold climate heat pump installation, we have to penetrate the wall because we have to get the inside piping and communication wire and drain to the outside. So we have a wall penetration. Okay, so this gives me an idea. This mounting bracket, we have to make sure that it's perfectly level. So if it's not level, we have a condensate drain that will not drain. And it drains on the right-hand side here, approximately here. So what I do is I tilt it just a hair. And of course these green tapes let me know where all the studs in. So I don't want to hit these studs. I'm going to be close in this one, but I think I can make it work. Well, the penetration is going to be for the, we call them line sets. It's going to be the refrigeration lines, the communication wire, and the condensate drain. Be very careful when you're drilling through sheetrock. You don't want to go too deep. Just go past the sheetrock thickness and stop. Walls are soundproofed. And if this were an outside wall, I'd throw some insulation in there, and I'd also use some steel wool, because critters like to hibernate inside our nice warm houses. So the steel wool, they'd have to chew through it, and they don't like to chew through steel wool. On the other side. Now, assisting the hanging of this unit, I'm actually going to hang some support brackets here. So this turns out to be a one-man job. Otherwise, I got to have myself on this side, another technician on the other side. He's going to be helping me when we mount the unit through the wall. Alright, you can go right to the other side there. The units range anywhere from 25 to 40 pounds. Well, coming at you. There you go. And there we are. Okay. Now, we have to measure for the outside penetration now. It's just this little penetration right here, and then slant it down that way. That's our center. bottom of the hole is going to be right about there. All right, we got as far as we can with this. It's a double beam. We are not compromising the strength. It's an inside corner. So we've got like 3 2x4s right there. Almost through. Okay, now we go outside. I should probably point out ladder safety here. We want to make sure our ladder's on a very stable foundation and as level as you can get it. You don't want to be on a ladder that's going to move around a lot. Here we go. You want to be comfortable working on a ladder. Now this hole will actually be covered by a vinyl trim piece that's going to follow this corner down. It's going to be painted to match, so it's not going to be an eyesore and blend in very well. Be watertight and protective. Outdoor condenser is going to go. It's going to transfer any heat from outside in the winter to the indoor unit, so we basically get some heat from the outdoors. And in the summertime, it's going to take the heat from the indoors, bring it out here, and blow the hot air out here. A nice slant towards the outside. Does this give you enough?
Perfect.
Because we can pull it back.
No, that's.
Okay, so this is the liquid refrigerant line that transfers the energy from the outdoor unit to the indoor unit. And we want to make sure all the connections are good, tight, and won't leak. So we put a flare dot on here. And of course, nothing holds the flare dot on until we flare it. So I use this quick flaring tool. And we're done. Because we want to make sure there's a good connection again, not only do we flare it, but we bring it up to a certain torque or tightness. So we adjust our torque wrench to a certain specific torque. In this case, for this one right here, it's going to be 50 pounds, or not pounds, it's actually measured in metric. It's not foot pounds, it's NM, whatever NM stands for. Maybe you can put something in for that. Set. And this will go on like so. I've got my torque wrench preset for 50. I always use a backer wrench. You don't want to go twisting pipes. It causes weakness in the pipe. And we're done. So one of the two lines is done. Now the simple one is the small one, which is perfect. We'll put through the wall. And then we're going to attach everything up so that we get good drainage to the outside. So once the outdoor unit goes in, we pressure test the lines with nitrogen to make sure there's no leaks, of course. So I keep these joints exposed when I do that, and I rub some bubble on these joints to make sure that they don't leak. Also, my gauges on my AC system will tell me if I've got a leak or not. I usually pressure it up to about 400 pounds per square inch. Okay. 19 5/8. This is a deburring tool. Whenever you cut copper, there's always going to be a little sharp edge there. This basically takes the sharp edge out. Any particles that might fall into the tube, we want to make sure we point the tubing down and then just chamfer it. And we're good to flare. The units come pre-charged for so many feet. I think this one's like 98 feet worth of line set. So you can go almost 100 feet without having to add refrigerant. And then you can add refrigerant from there as necessary. Why I'm protecting my hand here is because as I flare this, we're actually expanding the metal. And of course, anytime metal expands, it releases heat. It gets quite hot. Okay, other than the insulation going back on the pipe, our outdoor unit is complete. The wiring will be done by the electrician. What's left to do next is to pressure test. And then once we pressure test it, make sure there's no leaks, we vacuum it down to get any contaminants out of the refrigeration lines. Any moisture, anything like that.
Wire too.
Is it wired?
Perfect. Let's check out like that, and then I can put the cover on it.
Yeah, so your base is just going to go right up here.
Alright, what do you
And
get?
then the cover is going to go here, and we'll tape these up.
What do you get for a measurement? I get 15 and a half. That's what I was
I bet you can get those. What we're doing now is a pressure test. We're going to make sure that all our fittings are not going to leak, therefore losing refrigerant to the atmosphere. our 400 pounds right there. We're going to introduce into our line sets. Okay, we've got about 450 pounds inside. And really the only spots it can leak, unless it's got a bad piece of tubing, is right here and those fittings inside that we saw earlier. Let me make sure that this is not too high. Okay, we're 19 and a half. When it comes out, it's 18. Okay, so we're fine.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Great.
Inside is done. At this point, we can check our pressures, and then if we've held the about 450 pounds, we can put it under vacuum. And for me here, I'm going to start our vacuum pump. We bring it down to about 30 inches of mercury of vacuum. And I've got a micrometer that's going to tell me how clean of a vacuum we're getting. So this manufacturer right here, Fujitsu, recommends that we bring it down below 500 microns. We started out right now, we're about 4,200 microns. 3,200 microns. So you can see how fast it pumps down. A short line set, like we just put in, is about 20-foot line set. Shouldn't take more than 15 minutes. Longer line sets, of course, will take longer time. No, I think we're going to be okay, because we're not going against the wall. So right now we're about 550 microns. Our target goal is 500, but because of the humidity today, I want to try to bring it down to about 400. We'll see if we can get down into the high 300 as far as the micron reading. Right now it's about 525. Again, our target goal is 500. We're going to shoot for a little lower. Alright, we're approaching 399 microns, and that's where I'm going to end it. 399. So our evaporation, or vacuum, is complete. Why we do this is because any moisture that's in the lines, it actually will boil it out. Get it out of the line. Moisture and refrigerant don't mix. It gives the compressor a very short life. So we want to get it as clean in there as possible. I'm opening up the service valves and allowing what refrigerant is stored inside into our lines. Alright, so all that's left to be done now is have the electrician wire up the disconnect. We're going to put a decorative piece over our line sets to blend in with the house. Andrew will finish up his wiring inside the unit here. And then I hit the remote, and she's got nice cold air today. I really appreciate you being with us today. Again, this is a cold climate heat pump. Brand name is Fujitsu. Very efficient, over 100% efficient. It uses electricity. Even with high electric rates in Vermont, it's still very cost effective to get both heat, cooling, dehumidification, and a fan. Thank you.